must not lose your guard. You must not be distracted. You must not think that all is good. You must not think that all is done and dusted. There are so many things that are hidden that we have to look into. So many expectations that we must look into. Don't ever blink your eye when you are dealing with the Zoological Republic. Don't blink. Not even for a minute. Don't blink. If you do, you have yourself to blame. My fellow brothers and sisters, Biafrans and lovers of freedom across the world. The truth seekers around the world, if you are a truth seeker, you are welcome to this platform today. We stand at another crossroad in the struggle of justice. This is another crossroad in the struggle for justice. Nigeria has shown its contempt for the law and its fear of justice. Every move they make is a calculated attempt to disrupt justice. Every move they make is a calculated attempt to divert attention. And here are they, once again. Nigeria has shown its contempt for the law and its fear of justice. The court date of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, was originally fixed to 10th October 2025. Yesterday, we woke up suddenly without any explanation. Without any explanation, it has been moved forward to 26 September 2025, being Friday. Without any explanation. This is not just a minor schedule change. Some of us would think it's just a minor scheduling change. It is not. Nigeria doesn't just wake up and do something ordinarily just because they want to do it. They don't do something. We know the government of Nigeria doesn't do something because this is the right thing to do. This is a lawless government that we know. They are lawless to the core. So whenever they take any step, there is always a reason. There's always an underlying tone. There is always this hidden handwriting somewhere. And that is what you should be concerned about. That is what every single one of us should be concerned about. This is not just a minor scheduling change. I bet you this is a calculated manipulation. A calculated manipulation by Nigerian government. A desperate attempt to control the narrative. And another chapter in the long book of lawlessness and human rights abuse by the Nigerian state. Don't you rejoice first? I am telling you that Nigeria does not do anything because it is the right thing to do. Nigeria do not do anything. The government of Nigeria doesn't do anything because they just want to do it. There is always an undertone. There is always a reason behind every single step they take. That is why when they do things, you don't get moved. Don't get excited. Begin to search for that hidden handwriting. Search for it. And I bet you, before you know it, you will find out that this is a calculated manipulation. I am worried about the health of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Whatever be the outcome, I'm worried, very much worried and concerned about the health of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The message Mazi Nnamdi Kanu sent last time through his lawyers, and the lawyers read the informations where he complained about taking his blood every time for tests. More than 50 times they have taken his blood. More than 50 times. They take his blood, they took it to India, they take to everywhere. And when they take it, they never come back to result and give him the result. They never come back. Each time they take his blood, they never come back to give him a result. I'm worried about his health. And I'm even getting much more worried with this time change. This time. This is a calculated manipulation. A desperate attempt to control the narrative. We know Nigeria is the master in controlling narrative. And they will always use their media. This is another stunt. And remember, already there is a massive protest that is being called for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu 1st October. And that very protest is getting momentum. There is a protest called on behalf of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. With the way Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today have gathered sympathy from every corner of Nigeria, with the way the masses are speaking out and surrounding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu with facts and figures, supporting every claim and everything he has said in the past, Nigeria foresee something else coming. And whatever they have done that they want to hide, however their desperation is going to push them to, we are watching and we are looking at them closely. And that is what I expect every Biafran to do. Watch closely. Don't rejoice yet. Watch closely. Don't lose your guard. Continue to pay attention. Be focused. What you are seeing is another chapter in a long book of lawlessness. That is what you're going to see. And human rights abuse by the Nigerian state. They have done it before, and they are going to do it again and again. And that's why I say, whenever Nigeria take a step, don't rejoice. Look at the hidden handwriting. There's a hidden handwriting that you need to decode for you to be able to know the country you are dealing with. Why this sudden change of date is suspicious? Why it matters to us? Why the sudden change of date is matter? Why it has to matter to you as a Biafran? It has to matter to everybody that is concerned about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's health. Everyone that is concerned about Biafran freedom. Why we are concerned is that court dates are supposed to be sacred in justice system. Court dates are supposed to be sacred in justice system. They are set in advance to allow both sides to prepare. They are set in advance to allow both sides, both the accused and the defendant, to prepare, to ensure fairness, to respect the rights of the accused. That is why a date is fixed for preparation. Changing the date suddenly, without a reason, raises suspicion of foul play. You see why we are concerned. You see why you must pay attention and look at the hidden handwriting. Changing the date suddenly, without clear reason, raises suspicion of foul play. In the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, there are so many things to suspect. Even if at the end of the day, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released on the 26th, I will still be concerned about his health. I will be much more worried. I will be much worried about his health. But whatever be the case, we must continue. And we must not lose our guard. We continue to pay attention. Could it be that Nigeria fear international observers who we are preparing to monitor the October hearing? Have you thought about that? Could it be that Nigeria want to divert the attention of the international observers who we are preparing to monitor the October hearing? As you know, international observers are coming in every court of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and these international observers have a program fixed. They have already fixed their programs, what to do, where to go, and their schedules. And once you change your schedule, all of a sudden, they lose their balance, they lose their focus. There are many issues in the world that they have to pay attention to. There are many places they need to travel to. There are many issues that they have to monitor. And when there is this sudden change of date, it affects their presence. Could it be that Nigeria fear international observers who we are preparing to monitor the October hearing? Have you thought about that? Could it be a tactic to rush the process, catch Biafrans unprepared, and frustrate legal strategies? Have you thought about that? Or is this another way to prolong the illegal detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu under the disguise of court process? Have you thought about that? If you are a genuine Biafra, a lover of freedom, if you're a concerned citizen, these are part of the things you have to look into. Why we say, never you rejoice, no matter what you see coming from Nigerian government. There's always a handwriting behind the scene. This sudden move that Nigeria made tells the world one thing: Nigeria is afraid of justice. This sudden move tells the world one thing: that the zoological republic called Nigeria is afraid of justice. It is sad, but that is the bitter truth that we will continue to speak and talk about it. The illegal detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is one thing that the whole world knows about, that people must continue to pay attention to. The person we are talking about, the man we are talking about, was detained illegally. He was kidnapped from Kenya. An extraordinary rendition to Nigeria. Kept under solitary confinement. With all the calls that are coming, they refuse to leave him. That is the person we are talking about. Don't ever forget that. Since June 2021, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been held in the DSS custody. Since June 2021, despite multiple court rulings ordering his release, court rulings from Nigeria ordering his release, they continue to hold him since June 2021. The United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention has declared his arrest and detention illegal under international law. We are talking about the United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention. They have declared the arrest of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu illegal under international law. This is the person we are talking about. The Court of Appeal in Nigeria ordered his release, yet the government disobeyed its own court. That is the man we are talking about. For the people who are not following up, for international communities and media who will come across our video that are not up to date, this is the man we are talking about. This proves beyond doubt that Nigeria operates not under the rule of law, but under the rule of tyranny. That is how Nigeria operates. It doesn't stop at being under the rule of tyranny. That is why a Canadian court finally have come to the conclusion, after proper investigations, that Nigeria is run by terrorists. The major ruling parties in Nigeria are terrorist organizations. I didn't say it. A court in Canada, a high court in Canada spoke about that and said it, that the ruling parties in Nigeria are terrorist organizations, confirmed. And what does that tell you? The detention of our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not just illegal. It is political persecution. It is not just illegal. It is political persecution. And the whole world is silent, watching these atrocities happen on an innocent man. The lawlessness of Nigeria is so much. Where are you going to start? Which one are you going to mention and which one are you not going to mention? In a true democracy, the law is supreme. But in Nigeria, the government is above the law. And yet, they tell us that Nigeria is a democracy. Even the Western world describe Nigeria as a democracy, when they know that Nigeria has nothing called democracy. That is why you see, I don't believe in all this Western madness that they are displaying everywhere, talking about human rights and all the necessary organizations they are forming. They are doing nothing. More especially when it has to do with Africa, they throw everything to dustbin. Laws doesn't work anymore. They will preach democracy. They will preach democracy and they will force it into people. And you begin to, what is this democracy they are forcing? Is it the democracy they have in Cameroon, where a dead man is ruling Cameroon and the whole world is supporting that dead man for beer? A man who wheezes on his body. A man who cannot reason by himself. A man who is in the hospital from January to January, living in France, and yet the whole world continue to support him to run their own kind of democracy. That's the democracy they promote. Look at the Nigeria we are talking about. The person they have today, the drug baron they have today as the president. These same Western countries came and supervised the election and they said the election was rigged. They confirmed that the election that brought him to power was rigged and illegal. But today, what are they doing? Every one of them is working with him. Every single one of them in the West. They are busy entering into deal. Look at Finland. Finland went to the extent of selling their own citizen for a pot of porridge. Finland sold their own citizen for a pot of porridge. Our Prime Minister, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This is a man, before he entered into the struggle, he went and submitted a letter to the presidency and to their prime minister. He didn't do it in a secret. There was nothing that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did about Biafra that was secret. He was doing everything in the open. That was why he was able to conduct two conventions in Finland. Two conventions where Biafras were flying in from all across the world. Biafras got visa in the name of that convention, applied for visa because of that convention, and they got the visa. But all of a sudden, this same organization has now, that Finland approved and even gave out a consulate in Finland, all of a sudden have turned to a terrorist organization because of their economic interest in Nigeria. Because a drug baron is in charge in Nigeria, and a man, a pharaoh that does not have conscience, is in charge in Finland. A pharaoh that doesn't have conscience is in charge in Finland. And look at the result. When the righteous man is in power, the people rejoice. But when the evil men are in power, the people mourn. That is the case of the zoo and Finland today. In a true democracy, the law is supreme. But in Nigeria, the government is above the law. The government can wake up and do it. They are above the law. They can wake up and do anything, say anything they want to say. That is why you see the video I played that the other day, how they were borrowing money. They borrow and borrow and borrow without approval from the Senate. They were borrowing in billions of dollars were borrowed without approval from the Senate. The person who was making the case was the senator. This is the country that Finland is taking instruction from. This is country that Finland is dancing in bed with. In Nigeria, the only thing you see in Nigeria is selective justice. Selective justice is the order of the day in Nigeria. Politicians accused of looting billions walk away free. Politicians that have been accused, not just accused, that have looted the country billions, they walk away free. And they end up in becoming Senate president. They end up in becoming president. People who the country itself, the EFCC of the country, have indicted them of stealing billions. They end up becoming the president. And some of them becoming the Senate president. Terrorists are released in name of rehabilitation. That is the rate of the selective justice you are talking about. Terrorists are released in the name of rehabilitation. Terrorists have taken innocent lives. They have murdered people in cold blood. that have no other project. They don't have anything they are asking for except destroying lives. In Nigeria, they are released in the name of rehabilitation. But a man who speaks for freedom is kept in chains. In Nigeria, you speak for freedom, you remain in chain. Look at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Look at how they are taking Showore inside and outside, even though Showore believe in their one Nigeria. Showore believe in one Nigeria, but look at what they are doing him, taking him in and out the court, in and outside the court, simply because he has a different opinion. He speaks the truth from his own direction. He exposes their evil. He doesn't condone their evil. He wants things to change. Every day, they are arresting him in and out of jail. Sometimes simply because of a speech he made. Revolution now. Simply because he said revolution now, he will be picked up. This is a country where politicians accused of looting billions walk free. As we speak, the Federal Capital Territory, what do they call him? Minister, Yesun Wike, have been indicted in fraud, money laundering, which Showore have exposed. All the money he looted from River State and the money he looted in the Federal Capital Territory now, he used it to go to the United States and buy a house in the name of his son. He bought houses and transferred it in the name of his son. That case is there waiting for him. And so many other crimes. This same week have been caught on video, on audio, where he was threatening to murder somebody if the person did not give him election. If the person doesn't rig election on his side, that he's going to take the life of that very person. He was caught red-handed. It is in this same Nigeria, a camera caught somebody who was stealing, collecting bribe, taking dollars and putting into his babaliga. Caught red-handed. On video, caught red-handed, taking bribe in dollars. And what did the government? Instead, the government even stood and speak for me and say, how did they manage to get such a sophisticated camera that can catch such a thing? You can imagine. The late Muhammadu Buhari then was even defending him. That he doesn't know how they get the sophisticated camera that he used to be able to catch that man. That is what his concern is. Akpabio that you are seeing today, the senior president, is indicted in fraud. In fact, the EFCC wanted to rein him in, and the only option he has was to join APC, and all his sins are forgiven. Every single one of them working with the president in Asorok today have been indicted at one time or the other in other countries. They are all ex-convicts. Some of them escaped from the United States to run back to Nigeria, and they finally end up becoming members of the Asorok Villa. The drug baron also escaped, paid ransom, forfeited money, and today he ended up becoming the president. But when a freedom fighter comes out and says things are not working well, conduct referendum, let the people decide their fate, they will put you in perpetual detention. When a freedom fighter comes out and says there is fraud here and there and blow whistle, the whistleblower becomes the victim. You become the one to suffer. They will make sure they make your life miserable. When a government ignores court order, violates its own constitution, and disregard international law, it is no longer a democracy. It is an oppressive regime. It is an oppressive regime. But every time you still see the West that knows these things very well, the West that put these very words in line, they still address them as a democracy. You see where the hypocrisy is. Hypocrisy in the West, that even the Western people that put this in order, They are there watching, but yet they will be addressing Nigeria as a democracy. Even when they know, based on their own calculations and on their own words, on their own laws that they put in place, the international laws that they signed into, when a government ignores court order, violates its own constitution, and disregard international law, it is no longer a democracy. It is an oppressive regime. That is what you have in Nigeria today. That is what Finland is working with. That is the government that is giving Finland the information that made them to detain the prime minister of the Biafran people. An oppressive regime gave Finland that claimed to be upholding human rights, gave them information to detain their innocent citizens that have served on different offices in Finland, never found wanting anywhere before, until when he decided to fight for his own people and serve his own people. That was the only time they saw him as a terrorist, based on information given to them by an oppressive regime. And Finland claimed to be a democracy. Finland is part of the European Union. Finland claimed that they had their ranking in human rights is above the sky. Did you see the hypocrisy they are displaying around the world? Do you see the madness that we say is unacceptable? We will never, ever, ever, ever accept that madness. Do you see why every Biafran must tighten up their belt and continue to ask for out from the zoo? This is why we will never give up. We will never give up. Never, ever. The human rights abuses in Nigeria is so much that even a blind man can see it. The deaf can hear it. But yet, the international community is silent. Extrajudicial killing of peaceful protesters again and again in Nigeria. Every single thing I'm saying here has a video evidence. I cannot share the video on YouTube because of the restrictions. You will see where the military opened fire on innocent protesters. They did it to IPOB not once, not twice, not thrice. So many times on IPOB. They did it to the shared group. They did it even to Nigerian people who were fighting for their so-called one Nigeria, the NSAS protesters. They did it just recently in End Bad Governance. So when we are speaking about this issue, it is not just about the issue of Biafra. We are concerned about ours. I am a Biafran, and that is where I am concerned. So they wouldn't say I'm going to your territory. But this atrocity is happening against every indigenous person in that contraption. And so when we are fighting this battle, it is not just for the Biafrans alone. But some of you think it's about Biafra. Some of you, out of your wickedness, out of your idiocy, out of your greed and envy, you think it's about Biafra. You forgot that even you are facing much more danger than we, the Biafrans. But we cannot be silent. Extrajudicial killing of peaceful protesters is going on in Nigeria every blessed day. Even as we speak, there is extrajudicial killing in Olu, Okigwe, as we speak. Okigwe is burning as we speak. They never stop. It is extrajudicial killing happening there. Arbitrary arrest of innocent citizens. That one is the order of the day. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in detention. Showere is going in and out of detention. There are so many people that were detained during the time of NSAS. They are still in detention. NSAS that was meant for a good Nigeria, it wasn't for Biafra. Some of them are still in detention. This end bad governance that just ended. To end bad governance and get a good one, they are still in detention. Showere is in and out of detention because he's calling them out. And yet, the international communities are not paying attention. They don't care. It doesn't move them. Where are the good men? Because I know there are still good men out there There are still good men in that United Nations. There are still good men in the UK, in the US, in Russia. There are good men everywhere. Why are the good men silent? Where are the good women? Good women, why are they silent? Why are they not speaking? That is the question. Why the global silence on the atrocities of this evil government? Why the global silence? Even when we have provided a solution, a remedy, we have provided a remedy, an everlasting remedy that have been tested and tried and tested, and it worked. We provided, yet there is global silence. When we call for disintegration is not that of hatred. It will not stop us from trading together. It will not stop us from getting intermarried. It will not stop us from associating. But disintegrate the country so that you can create a nation according to people who have similar interests. People that have the same value system will be in their place and practice what they want to practice effectively without any challenge. Oh God. Those who want a caliphate will build a caliphate and remain there, practice their Sharia law without disturbance. It doesn't mean that people in the other side can still travel, but when you are going there, you have in mind that you are going to a zone where they are practicing their Sharia law. Those in a monarchical system should be in that their monarchical system. When you are going there, you respect their monarch and know that this is the system they are practicing. Those in the secular system on Biafra land, allow them to practice what they want to practice. Every region will protect their boundaries and border and respect each other. Then, this pursuit of interest will die a natural death. This destructive diversity will die a natural death. The more you continue to allow Nigeria to be, this destructive diversity will eventually destroy everybody. It is unfortunate that these same people will come and tell you that Nigeria is sitting on a cake of gunpowder. Yet, they see it that Nigeria is sitting on a cake of gunpowder, but they are waiting for that gunpowder to explode and kill everybody. But you see, Biafra, that gunpowder will not explode with us. It will never ever explode with us. This ship will not sink with us. Never. Never. Those who want to sink with the ship, goodbye. Good luck. Go ahead. But you see the Biafran people, we will never sink with that ship. We will never sink with that ship. Arbitrary arrest of innocent citizens. Disappearance and abduction without trial. Disappearance and abduction of citizens without trial. We saw the video of a woman that I showed here, a Biafran lady, a man and a wife with children, that the DSS came to their house and took them for 5 good years. Nobody can give account of their whereabouts. The DSS, Nigerian forces, entered their house and took them. They said they took them to Enugu. From Enugu, they said they took them to Abuja. For 5 good years, this was a man that was sleeping with his wife and children. Early in the morning, the DSS stormed there and took away these parents. Today, the children they left behind are 5 years older. They have not seen their parents. Nobody has seen or heard from them. They disappeared them after abducting them. Amnesty International is posting it on their... Listen, I shared it here. Amnesty International talked about it, spoken about it several times. But with all these atrocities, the international community cannot weigh in. There is no punishment for Nigeria. There is no reprimanding. Instead, they continue to do it. They continue to step it up. This is the country that want to try Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is why you must not trust them. Whatever Nigerian does, any news you see from them, don't rejoice. Think about the undertone. The reason they are doing what they're doing. What is their next move? Do they want to change the narrative? Do they want to create a narrative? Is there an evil plan cooking that they want to divert your attention from? The changing of the court date of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is very, very suspicious and fearful. You must not lose your guard. And the whole world should be watching. Harassment and profiling of Igbo people across Nigeria. Harassment and profiling of Igbo people across Nigeria. That one is the order of the day. If you are not an Igbo person, you will not understand. If you are not an Igbo person, you will not understand what we, the Igbos, are going through. If you're not Igbo, you don't understand. As an Igbo person, you will live abroad comfortably with all the frustration abroad, knowing that you're a foreigner. You can take them. Knowing that you are a foreigner, all the frustration, all the insult, all the abuse, you are living abroad, you endure it and take it in. And still manage to live peacefully. But when you leave that abroad and step into the place that's supposed to be your home, immediately you arrive at the airport that they name. Once you see that place, they name in the name of the oppressor. The man that sponsored the genocide in Asaba massacre. They use that same man's name and they named an airport after him. A man that committed genocide was the one that his name was used to build an international airport that the whole world knows Nigeria for. Immediately you arrive there, you begin to see the handwriting of that criminal. Immediately you arrive at Murtala Mohammed International Airport. The maltreatment is not, they don't need to tell you. Once they open your passport, they don't need to open your passport, once they see your dressing. Because when you see a Biafran, the appearance alone will tell you that this one is a Biafran. When a Biafran appears, open his mouth and speak, you will know that this is a Biafran. Once they identify as a Biafran, the treatment becomes different. Before your own very eyes, you will see an Aboki will pass. They will just take his passport, look at it, and allow him to pass. But you, they will keep you at the side. They will open your bag, begin to check, begin to ask you unnecessary questions. At the end of the day, they want you to bail yourself and things you bought for yourself for domestic use. Items you bought from abroad. They first of all push you to dash them. When they try to steal it, you don't allow them to steal it. They want you to dash them. When you refuse to dash them, they will force you to pay tax. The frustration starts from the airport. And immediately you step out of the airport, for you to, God help you, you want to travel by road. You want to travel by road from Lagos to your hometown. You are done. You are finished. Number one, any place, checkpoint you go and they see you with a passport, you have become a suspect immediately. Any place, any checking point where they see you with an international passport in Nigeria, you are automatically a suspect. And they look at the name. The name is there is Chuku something. Somebody Chuku to the southeast. You are finished now. You are finished. They will first of all tag you a fraudster. They will tag you a fraudster by all means. And be forcing you for bribe. There was one video I saw. A lady who married a German citizen. But the guy is a black. I think the guy is a Ghanaian or so. A Ghanaian man, a German citizen that married a lady, an Igbo lady, came for the very first time to visit Nigeria and visit his in-laws. For the very first time. Just at the checkpoint, for no reason, they beat up this boy. They beat up because he had a camouflage he bought. He was not wearing it. He wasn't wearing it. This was his clothes. He used something in Europe. People wear it. People who are living abroad, they wear their camouflage every day. Go around. Sometimes I wear my own here to do program. I wear it and go out. Nobody disturbs you. Nobody cares what you do. I have my camouflage here that I use. Both the short, both the shirt. I wear it and I go out. Nobody disturbs me. This guy was not wearing it. The camouflage was in his bag. The cloth was inside his bag. Somebody who came from abroad to visit, from Germany. They opened it and said the camouflage. That was the only wrong that guy did. They beat him up mercilessly. They beat this guy, molested him, tore his body, his face was bleeding. What crime did he commit? That they opened his bag and saw a camouflage jacket. This is the country we are talking about. This is the country where the harassment and profiling of Igbo people across Nigeria. And this harassment today and profiling is done by Nigerian officials. Nigerian officials. Number one of them is Abike Dabiri. The one they put in charge of diaspora, that criminal woman, that woman that is not supposed to be a primary school teacher, Abike Dabiri, who will come out and tell you that Igbos are drug barons. They are in death row everywhere. But you go to, he forgot that in Saudi Arabia, 52 Yorubas are in death row. There is no single Biafra, no single Igbo man in the list in Saudi Arabia. No single Igbo man. 52 Yorubas are in death row in Saudi Arabia. The people who were caught in fraud in the US,